People get ready, there's a train come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All right, folks. You are listening to Nichols Live. At least I hope you are. Somebody wants to text me and tell me if we are getting out. That would be awfully sweet. You're listening to Nichols Live. And I got to tell you, I'm Alden, is that you? I'm hearing all kinds of clicking and banging and stuff. I don't know what on earth. Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear, Alden. Clicking. Yeah, well, I hear everything you're doing. So anyway, just let you know. All right, folks, we're here trying to get all of our system up and running, get everything going the way it should. If you have somebody that wants to listen, but they can't get in with the computer, and I got a thing, you're live. Oh, I'm sorry, loud and clear. Thank you. So anyway, if they want to listen to the listen line, it is 412-883-6754. That's 412-883-6754. Then when you get there, you press 1. You press 1 when you get there. Got another listener that said, I hear you, so thank you. I'm reading a text I got. Let me tell you something, folks. Now, we're going to do something. We're going to try to take calls. Don't jump up here yet. Not yet. We're going to take calls the second half of the program. We're going to take calls the second half of this program. The reason we'll do that is I guess that's to give me time to get what is on my schedule to talk about, to get it out and get it out of the way before we start going to questions and all the rest that you have to say. So there, it's we're going to try it that way. I don't like doing it that way, but people have convinced me that a lot of times, which is true, I start out to talk about something, but then we start taking calls, and of course I don't get to talk about it. So starting at the 30 marker, starting at 1:30, you can call in, and the call-in number to be on live with me is 501-499-6022. That's 501-499-6022. You can call in starting at 1:30. So with that, let me say, I think I got all the business out of the way, but I don't know. So let me do this, folks. So trying to get everything handled here. I got people knocking at the door, so bear with me. Today I want to talk to you about something that's coming back up. It's coming back up over and over, that Cruz is rearing his head back up. I don't think Cruz is a factor. So everybody that's all scared, I don't think you need to be scared because I don't think cruise is a factor. I think there is still a chance for a snafu in picking the presidential nominee for the RNC. I really do. But that's why you're pushing, that's why I hope we're pushing the button on Paul Ryan. We got to push the buttons. This is a test of will. We're in it. We're in the test of the wills right now. And that test is, do we want it? Do we want our country back more than they want to take it from us? Which is it? We're truly at a test of wills at this point. We're there now. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I'm kind of in bad shape today. I can't breathe, so bear with me. It's a dangerous time for us right now as a nation. But if you could see what I see, if you could just know what I know, just for a second, if you could see what I see, my God, could you smile? That's right, you would smile. You would smile because you would know. If you could see what I see just for a short period of time, you would hear and see. We've got them, young. We've got them on the ropes. Now, we haven't won, but I promise you we have them on the ropes. They are ready to fall if we will stay the course, if we will just keep it up and just not stop. That's where we get in trouble. We get so far, then we think we've won, then we back off. And then they just come back at us again. We're not backing off this time. You spread the word. I want people here on this program. Please get them here. If we can make it to 10,000 people listening come the 1st of next month, if we can get there, then we can close the deal. We can. Not they can. We can. Now, how many of you are with me on that? How many of you are literally with me right now? With me to the point where you really understand it's not a hopeless fight. It's not a helpless fight. It's not a loneliness fight. It's not. We're not. No. It's not a helpless fight. If you will just believe. If you could just know what I know. And I can't tell you all of what I know. I can only tell you part of it. And the part I can tell you is we're winning. Just today we're winning. And we can lose. We can lose it all. We can lose it all tomorrow. Be with me. Be with me. Now we're going to go to commercial early because I want to talk to you when we come back before we go to the call-ins. I want to talk to you about defending yourself and your property. And I want to go to the commercial early now for another reason. But let's go. Today is a maintenance day. You know, we didn't get it yesterday. You know, I am trying to see whether I can keep doing the program. I am. I'm trying to wonder if I can. Somebody ding the PayPal now, please. Somebody ding it right now so that I at least know people are out there and care. PayPal. Go to PayPal. And then there you go, Nichols Live at AOL.com. You do. And let me know. Go to PayPal, Nichols Live, AOL.com. I will get that message in a split second. I need your help. I need your help. As you can tell today, I'm still pretty discombobulated. I need your help. We can't go through what we're going through. I just can't. Okay, let's see. States where the listeners are most concentrated, wait a minute, loud and clear, are North Dakota, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina. It's North Dakota and North Carolina, Iowa, Indiana, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York. And we know that because the callers are on the line for many of the other states. Our numbers are up from yesterday slightly. They are better than most of our recent Wednesdays. So, wow, if numbers are up today from, if numbers are up today from yesterday, then I would say that's significant because we were at 5,000 yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was, and today is a Wednesday, and typically Wednesdays are your down days. So if we're up, we're doing much better. Much better. When we get off commercial, then I'm going to start telling you how to protect and defend yourself. Why? Because I think that day is coming very soon. All right, folks. Nobody is dinging the PayPal. Nobody. And that says a lot, I guess, that silence speaks volumes. It's a PayPal, Nichols Live at AOL.com. And remember, when you get there, please do the gift or donation, not the purchase. Please, not the purchase. All right, folks, some of you are getting in your crossbows. These are the 80-pound crossbow that you break open you cock it from the stock. You push down on the stock. The problem some people are having is we don't have the strength to do that. Now, let me tell you something. The reason you may not have the strength to do that is not the fault of the bow. It's not. It's just that, folks, that motion of your arms to cock that crossbow is just a strange motion. You don't do it every day. You used to doing like curls, picking up. This is pushing the opposite way. That's why people are having trouble with it. Now, they also have in that catalog, and I get nothing from any of this, y'all, nothing. In the catalog, they had the $9 one, or it's $10 actually, and it's a 50-pound. But even if you have the 80-pound one that the handle breaks open like that to cock, you might want to get the $10 one for your car, because you just hold on to the handle with your left hand, the grip, pistol grip with your left hand, and then you pull back with your right hand on the thing that, you put your hand in the little drawing thing to cock it. It's real simple. That one's real simple. You may want to get it. And for the distances having to do with your car, that should be 50 pounds, should be plenty adequate. It will work. You should do that. You should get it, and you should start taking the bolts that come with it and get an extra package of the bolts. And practice. Okay, I got Alden sent 10. Thank you, Alden. Here's a boy out here producing the whole show. Let's see what this says. Be sure to remind those listeners that do not have PayPal, and there are a tremendous number of people who don't have it for one reason or another, that they can send a check, or they can mail in a check or a postal money order. Yeah, that's there. And my address is 58 Kensington Drive, Conway, C-O-N-W-A-Y, Arkansas, A-R. Zip code 72034. My address is on both the YouTube site where Alden's putting up the rebroadcast of the program, and it's also on our Facebook. Now, back where I was about the two crossbows. I want you, if you have trouble cocking the one that breaks down on the handle, then you need to spend the $10 and get the other one. Maybe even have both. The thing you have to worry about with the $10 one is not the power that it's going to have, because it'll have plenty of power to protect you. It's not a toy. It is not a toy. But you have to make sure that when you pull it back, that the safety on it locks it in safe. That's what you got to watch out. And if it's not particularly absolutely safe, well, I don't know what to do except tell you to shoot it. And yep, I was looking, still nothing on PayPal. Sorry, folks, trying to break this up, but I just hoping something would come in, and it did not. All right, so now you've got the crossbows, two of them. I got in yesterday the longbow. It's a recurve. Now, the first one that I've told you about is Rick Welch tunes it, sets it up, comes with the 3 arrows, a set of broadheads, practice tips, the string, the knocks are already in place, everything is tuned. And it's like $275. And it's a 20-pound draw. 20-pound draw. Can you believe it? 20 pounds, but it shoots fast and it shoots hard. But there was another bow made by the same company that I wanted to see. That bow, the 20-pound draw, is 54 inches long. It's got a 20-pound pull. They had another bow, which I have one that I have tested, and it's 48 inches long, folks. 48 inches long, and it's 12-pound draw. That means 12 pounds to pull the string back. Now you say, look, come on, 12 pounds, that can't do anything. Hey, I shot it myself through a chromatograph. And just with me shooting it one time, it shot at 97 feet per second. 97 feet per second. 12 pounds. Man. What we're getting you ready for here is not hunting. I'm not trying to make you a hunter, although you can hunt, of course, with your bow. I'm not trying to make you an archery target person. I'm not. I'm trying to teach you to defend yourself. And I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be realistic at all of our ages, at our age, at our strengths. That's what I'm trying to be realistic about. I'm trying to make sure we have something to defend ourselves other than a gun. People have asked me, well, why are you down on a gun? I'm not down on a gun. Guys, you're talking to a person that lived by a gun. Me, more than anybody. Me. But you don't need to always use one in a situation. You need to weigh out your options. And I'm telling you, it's best to know what you're doing in an environment like we're liable to come up on if this thing collapses. And you don't want to go just popping off round after round, not to mention what you've heard is probably true. They're probably going to take, they're probably going to go around and require everybody to turn in their weapons. Sure are. If they don't, they'll make it such a felony if you use them to defend yourself or your family. It won't be worth having them. But what you're going to be defending yourself with, there's not a law of the land, not one, buddy. Not one bow. You know, defend yourself. That's what we're talking about here. And with shooting, you know how the distance must be measured? You know how the distance has got to be measured? It's measured by, for example, if an intruder comes into your bedroom, let me tell you, the distance is from your bed to your doorway. Yeah, however far that is. From your bed to the doorway to your room. That's the distance you're talking about. And that's what these weapons I'm telling you about will do, and do well. At that range, they will make it tough for anybody to keep coming. And I got a message here from Alden saying, if I need to go to taking phone calls early, I can, because I'm out of oxygen. Folks, you might want to go ahead and start calling, because I am having trouble and I need to be on the oxygen as much as I can. Help me, please. Number one, help me by dinging PayPal, which no one other than Alden has done. So please ding PayPal. Let me see what I get here. Just 1 second. Okay. I hope you heard the PayPal ding. This is from, I think this is from Brent. It says here, hold on. This is today, I think, today. Larry, could you touch on the Rosebud IED and any implications it may scream at you, if any? Thank you. Sorry, not trying to interrupt. And then it said should be 20 from PayPal, but I don't know if that's yesterday or today. I don't see it from PayPal. All right, here we go, folks. The call-in number, let's try it. Somebody call in, 501-499-6022. Let's try it, 501-499-6022. Let's jump off and see what we can do. Now, remember, we're doing it early, but we're doing it early for a reason. I'm having trouble breathing, and I kind of need to be spelled a little bit while somebody's asking me a question, or while you're asking a question. That gives me a chance to get on the oxygen a little bit. Now I got a message from Alden. Go ahead and do the commercials while they're getting warmed up and calling in. All right, I'll do the commercial. Folks, I have to have your help today. I have to have your help today. And if you don't want to help, if you can't help, then it's what it is. That is what is happening today. It's kind of what happened yesterday. It's kind of petering out. Folks, we are going to win. We have to win. I need your help. I need your help. If you're out there, please help me. When I get through with this program, I have to be able to tell the hospital and the doctors what the word is. Let me see what I've got here. It says make sure they turn down the radio to avoid feedback. That's right. If somebody's calling in, if you're calling in, be sure and turn your radio down when we pick up the phone, or it'll whistle and make all kinds of noise. Folks, I need your help on PayPal. Please ding it. NicholsLive@AOL.com. I need your help.
Can you hear me? Hello.
And that's a terrible way to be.
Hello.
That is a
You're on with Larry
terrible way
Nichols.
to be.
Hey, my name is Brent, and I'm calling out of Texas, and I was calling to make sure the phone lines are working as planned, and also just to touch base with Larry. There was an explosive device discovered in Texas, and I was wondering if Larry thinks there's any implications behind that, and what those implications might be, as well as if he thinks that.
Please ask your question again.
Yes,
I hear a caller.
There was recently an explosive device found in Texas, and Larry had posted about it on his Facebook page. And I was wanting to know if Larry thought there were any implications from that device being discovered as far as possibly being other devices, because I realize this is a kind of a hole-in-the-wall town in the middle of nowhere, and it just makes me wonder if people are finding something under a bridge in the middle of nowhere, what else there might be, and what Larry's thoughts were on that subject.
All right, caller, I didn't get what device are you talking about?
Did you hear that?
I think we've got a little problem here hooking up. Caller, what device were you talking about on Facebook? And if I understood correctly, you said that a device on Facebook and you wondered if there were other devices.
If y'all are still there, I am unable to hear anything you're saying, but I'm going to go ahead and click back over and listen in. Thank you.
Hello, stay there.
Yeah, Alden, what was he saying? I didn't hear you. Well, I know that, but do we know what it was? Okay, folks, sorry about our first attempt with the caller. Let's try somebody else and see if we can get it through. Huh? All right, now, you got to watch Alden. You got to be careful. Your mic's hot, buddy. Yeah, it is. But anyway, let's go. If we got another caller, come on in. All right, folks, now listen. We're working through this calling thing for the first time today, so bear with us. It's a little nerve-wracking to make sure we've got everything lined up, all of the systems checked out. And to the caller that had the question, please forgive me, I couldn't hear it. And what you might do, caller, if you wouldn't mind, is you might text that to me because I could not understand what you were saying. Yeah, it says here, I've got two that says people hear Alden. People can hear Alden. I've got you being heard, 3 different people. So, Mary sent $10. Thank you, Mary. We're $4.80. Now I want to see Janine. I'll call you after the program. Yes, we'll do something right afterwards, Janine. Matter of fact, you might go ahead if you would, honey, please. That would be a godsend. All right. So what Alden said, because the system's not working just right, let's go on and text, please. We'll get it worked out. Bear with us. Text your questions today. Folks, it's like it is anytime with something that you're doing the first time. It gets hairy and it makes you nervous. So, as if we don't have enough things to be nervous about. Now, back to what I was saying about training. I'm not training you to be an archery contestant. I'm training you to defend yourself. Do y'all have any idea what this country's going to go into when, for example, in case y'all have forgotten, this nasty secret that one of the major banks has, when it reveals itself? Have you any idea what the country is going to look like that day? Let me give you a bit of a scenario. We're getting up in the morning. This hypothetical, this is not a real deal. Just listen to me. I'm just giving you a sample of what it might sound like. We're getting up in the morning tomorrow. You're getting your cup of coffee. And you're seeing this urgent bulletin all over the screen. Urgent bulletin. And you don't think much of it because they pop off of it and go to how much the eggs are in China. You don't care, right? I mean, not generally, we don't care about how much eggs cost in China or whatever the emergency bulletin thing would be about. We really wouldn't pay that much attention. But then all of a sudden another one comes up, and this is the one. This other news alert pops up on your screen, and this is a hypothetical for tomorrow, just a hypothetical, just to give you an example, so don't panic. But here comes this alert, and it says, one of the 5 major banks, is hypothetical. Hear me, hypothetical, because I get in a lot of trouble for telling you something in a breach of contract and breach of security, MOS, and clearance. So this is hypothetical, and this is just a fictional thing to get you kind of prepared for what it would be like. So here comes this alert, and it says, one of the major banks faces run on money. Oh my God. In a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, the news bulletins start hitting the screen, just one after another. They start going crazy. And here they come. And in Chicago, a branch of this bank, this one of the 5 major banks, this branch has to shut down because people were lining up to get their money out and they couldn't get it, couldn't be serviced. People going into a panic. First you hear in Chicago, now, oh my God, Baltimore. Now it's starting to happen in cities real fast. All of a sudden, Fox News and MSNBC, CNN, ABC, all of them, it's moving so fast. They're all coming on the air saying, we're in a panic situation. Yep. We go into this panic. People start running, trying to get their money. And then here comes all of these pundits coming on the air, right? Here comes Neil Cavuto and I'm using Fox as an example. Here comes on Neil Cavuto and these other pundits, and they come on and they say, oh my God, don't panic. Don't panic. The sky's not falling. But one of the banks has had to absorb a major lick from, say Puerto Rico, and it's caused them to have to go into a real crunch on their liquidity. And they'll use terms like liquidity and asset structure and asset protection, and they'll use all kinds of things so that they're very careful trying to put out the fear. Trying to stop the fear factor from catching hold even further. But it's moving. And that came out about 9:30 Central. And it's moving fast. It is moving with the speed like you have never seen. And that's what's coming. So you watch, and it just is moving so fast, you just can't believe it. Now New York, several of the one of the 5 major banks, that bank that's got too much of that debt, all of a sudden, New York, their branches there start collapsing. Why? it's just one account, right? It's just one account to one bank. I know I'm trying to, I just got Greg at Leading Edge said, be sure to re-announce that this is hypothetical, that this is just for theatrical purposes, folks. I am it, and I'm trying to not get you, please. This is not real. This is this is for, it's an example, okay? It's not real, so don't go running and telling people, don't go panicking, please. This is not real. This is just to show you hypothetically what it would look like and what it would sound like, what the scene would be. So now, here comes it telling us that it's Puerto Rico. And then you know what happens? Oh my God, here it is noon. Just since about 9:30, now it's noon. And you know what's happening in let's pick a town, Phoenix, Arizona, one of the other main banks, 5 major banks, one of the other 5 major banks in hypothetically Phoenix, Arizona. They had to turn back people coming running on their money. They were running on their money. They had to turn them away. Now the panic starts in full. That's in full. And about 2 o'clock. Now remember, this is tomorrow as an example. It's a hypothetical. Just since 9:30 Central tomorrow morning, when that first bank fails to be able to meet its liquidity needs in one city, and it's told that it's because of Puerto Rico, you know what happens? About 2 o'clock, another bank will have turned people away all the way in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. And by the end of the day tomorrow, here's what the government's going to do. When that second bank starts to have problems and you start hearing rumors and closings in certain branches with this other bank now, the other bank, another one of the big banks, when they start closing those down, you know what happened? Federal government's coming in. Federal government's coming in and declaring they're shutting down the banks, shutting them down. They're shutting down the banks. Now, it is told, or it would be told us in this hypothetical, they're shutting down the banks just so that they can slow everything down and just get a handle on the situation. What would you think during this time? If this really happened tomorrow, what would you be thinking at this time? What? What on earth could you possibly be thinking? You're going to be panicking. I'm telling you what you're going to be thinking. You're going to be panicking. And people are going to be calling me. Some of y'all are going to be calling me, oh, Larry, what does this mean? What does this mean? Does this mean? Does this mean? Does this mean? And I'll have to say, yes, it does. And then in a coup, silent or forced, either one, forced coup or silent coup, relative to the financial institutions, what are the 3 rules? Nationalization, negative interest, repatriation, right? Think about these things you've learned here. Nationalization, negative interest, repatriation. If that one bank tomorrow morning were not able to cover its liquidity needs, in other words, if it didn't have enough cash to withstand the run on the bank, if it doesn't have enough cash to cover it, the day will go down rapidly, and by 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow, if that happened, if that was announced at 9:30 tomorrow morning, by 2 or 3 o'clock, the banks would shut down. The federal government would cause the banks to shut down through the Federal Reserve. Then there would be about a 3 or 4 day moratorium, 3 or 4 day moratorium on all banking transactions. And what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means you're just going to freeze up anybody getting their money out. There's going to be nothing you can do with your banks. They're going to have shut your banks down while they're meeting with the Federal Reserve and the leaders of these major banks. They're meeting, trying to figure out. Hold on. Yes, Mary, I got it. Mary said, I hope it went through. Just ding $10. Yes, I got it. Thank you. But see, when they're in this moratorium, they're meeting with the owners of the banks. So, the owners of the banks and the Federal Reserve, they're all meeting. Now, what's funny, guys, they're meeting about your money, about our money. That's our money. Our money that they're meeting about. Think about it. Things have gotten crazy. Things have gotten crazy at the bank because everything now is out of control. And the federal government's going to put a moratorium on. They're not going to let you. Oh, that can't happen. Well, ask Janine about her sister in Greece, I believe it is. They now, when it first happened with them, they're in their quote unquote moratorium. It was $37 a week is all they could take out, or maybe it was a day. Maybe it was $37 a day. That was all they could take out. When they're going to come out of this moratorium, somehow, some way, they're going to come out with some restriction on how much money we can take out. They are. They got to. Because the system's breaking down, so they'll stop it. And you know what they're going to come up with out of this moratorium that'll start tomorrow because the banks all collapsed in this hypothetical. Now, although this is hypothetical, remember that this is hypothetical. I'm not saying this is really going on. I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's really pretty slick if you think about it. If the banks were to do what I'm telling you, federal government's going to have to kick in. I said federal government, I meant the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve's going to have to kick in and have a meeting. And I would imagine in this Federal Reserve meeting, talking about our money, our lives, they'll probably meet with the president and vice president, just like they did before. And they're going to make an announcement. Now, I'm going to go to commercial before I tell you about that announcement, because, folks, we've gotten $20 in for the treatments today. $20. That's all that's come in. I need your help. It's a maintenance day. It's $500. Please, if you can. If you can't, you hear how I'm getting just with the low oxygen. I can't. Anyway, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's 10 minutes. We got 10 more minutes. You know the drill. I'm sorry. I have to have it, and I can't help it. And if we don't help, we don't help. So no more commercials. Let's go back. Go back to where we were. You know what's got to be done, folks. $500. We're at $480. Back to where it was. They had this meeting. They come out of the meeting. And Obama calls a press conference, and the whole world gathers around their television sets for this press conference because it's a big one. It's big. And Obama will walk out this tomorrow when this tomorrow comes. He'll walk out and he will say, as most of you know, we have had a crisis. So here comes that word crisis. We have had a crisis to hit our financial community. And we don't want people panicking. There's nothing that has happened to, cause this crisis that we cannot handle. We can handle it. But in the interest of handling it, we're going to have to take certain steps. And then he's going to say, I have consulted with some of the most brilliant minds in the world, and this is what they have concluded. Temporarily, until we can get a long-term resolution to our problem, he's going to have to do what? I wonder how many of you know the answer to it. What is Obama going to have to do when he announces that they've had this meeting, the Federal Reserve, with he and Biden present, and probably leaders of both houses of Congress and both parties? Be a pretty powerful meeting. What do you think they're going to announce? I'll tell you what they're going to announce. He's going to say, due to the seriousness of this problem, we are going to have to suspend banking as usual. Now, it's only going to be temporary, he will say. It's only going to be temporary. But the leadership in both houses, the leadership of both parties have agreed that we need to back up, take a look at our situation, and determine with a sound mind and presence of mind what we want to do. Now, y'all with me? Does anybody understand what I'm talking about here? The president's going to come out after this first bank, after one bank that's too heavily leveraged has to come out and say that they can't cover their depositors. Everybody's going to panic, and they're going to shut down the banks for a day or two, so they'll say, until they get a handle on the crisis, so they say. But then Chris got the answer right. What this is a preliminary announcement of nationalization of banks. This one event, although it be hypothetical, this one event can show you how dangerously close we are to losing everything. Because Obama will have his crisis. And first, they will take over the banks. But then, because they're taking over the banks, guess what? Since they're having to put into, see, this is how this starts cascading. Then, because they have to take care of the money that the bank don't have because it covered depositors that are starting to panic, then that's going to be the premise to which don't worry about your stock in one of the 5 major banks. Don't worry about that. We'll cover you there. No, you won't. You can't. Yeah. Starts cascading. What's a business going to do that you work for, or that your family works for, or that your son-in-law? What's that business going to do? Well, now, because of one bank having too much, hypothetically, of the debt of Puerto Rico, causing it to not be able to cover its customers, their warranty. Now a cascade of events starts taking place. First, the other banks start collapsing, and then you can't take your money out of the bank except so much a day that'll be calculated by somebody that we have no idea who it is that did this great calculation to allow us to take $25 a day out of our accounts. It should be enough for us to live off of, they will say. But then the businesses that we work for, how are we going to work for a business that all that business can give us? How are we going to do that? See, now you get in a place where, why do you know what this guy's, anyway, I just got a text, but starts cascading, folks. Do you see this hypothetical, if it took place tomorrow morning, by Friday of this week, if this hypothetical took place just as I described it tomorrow morning, by Friday, our nation would be on its knees. On its knees. Can you believe? Over the rainbow. All right, folks, we're done. Way up high. I'll see you tomorrow if I can. We'll talk more about it then. That I've heard of one in a lullaby.